Hey everyone, this is Derek here and welcome to another product unboxing and initial impression video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Microsoft Surface Pro type cover with Fingerprint ID. So this is very similar to the current version of the Microsoft type cover, however it also has an additional Fingerprint ID reader in it, and that can be used for things like logging into Windows. So you might ask, why do you need this? Well, I have a Surface Pro 3 that doesn't have Windows Hello, so every time I turn it on, I have to enter my password, which is pretty annoying. So I decided, why not buy this keyboard and see how it works? So this keyboard is Onyx, or black in color, and that is the only color it comes in. I don't mind because I like that color, but if you want a different color type cover, then this probably isn't the one for you. So this guy originally came out when the Microsoft Surface Pro 4 was released. And it looked a little bit different, so I don't know how well this is going to show up on video. This is just my iPad mini, but so this was the original version, and there are a number of differences in the function keys in the top row there, what they do. So what Microsoft has done, so initially when this keyboard, the type cover of Fingerprint ID originally came out, it looked, the function keys looked very similar to, this is a Surface Pro 3 type cover. So you can see what that looks like, and then you can see what it looks like now, and we'll take a better look at that in a second as we unbox it. And it's very, very much more in line with what you find on their signature series of type covers. This is the Cobalt Blue, and like I said, you can see a redesigned function map up there, and that matches that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. It's transparent plastic, so you can see the keyboard. They have a little bit of a fingerprint sticker here, so you can see here is the fingerprint reader. We'll go ahead and turn it over to the back. This is model 1755 for those of you who want to look it up. And it is the Microsoft Surface Pro type cover Fingerprint ID. Classic typing experience with backlit keys, so this guy offers multiple levels of backlighting. It is white only, so no crazy colors, but I prefer a soft white backlight anyways for my keyboard. So, and a fingerprint reader for enhanced security. So that is, of course, the big difference. We will go ahead and pull this pull tab and see how this lifts out of here. All right, just like that. And we'll set aside the keyboard for a second and take a look at what else is included in the box. And it looks like this is it. So you can see here, surface.com/fingerprint setup. So if you want to learn how to set up your biometrics, that's a way to do it. And this little book comes with the keyboard and cleaning and usage instructions, some information on how to use it, how not to use it, regulatory information, copyright, warranty. So I think it's a 1-year warranty. So oops, we're losing the there we go, losing that. So we'll set aside that because it's not very interesting, and we'll take a look at the keyboard itself. So here you go, here is the keyboard. It has a glass-coated trackpad that is a lot larger than the Surface Pro 3 one, so it's honestly quite a decent size for the size of the device. So remember, the Surface Pro is only a 12.3-inch tablet, so to have a trackpad that's this usable, it's pretty good. You can do multi-finger gestures, you can do you can scroll to zoom. It's honestly, it's one of the better ones I've used. It looks to be very similar. This is the signature one. You can see same dimensions. So I'm going to assume that this operates in the same way. And I'll annotate it if I'm wrong. This is a mechanical trackpad. So what that means is that you do have to press down, as opposed to some of the newer designs like with Apple that use a haptic engine where you're actually not pressing down. And that's a little more durable. This can get dirt and gunk and stuff under here. And the other issue with it is that you do have to be on the bottom portion. It's easier to press when you're, I'd say, below half or so. So if you're pushing up here, you have to push pretty hard to actuate that, which some people don't like. Here's the fingerprint reader, and you can see that when I'm in a typing position, we'll have to test how good the palm rejection is in another video, but when I'm in a typing position here, we'll just say this is a test of this keyboard. Something like that. My palm is over the fingerprint reader, so it's not on it, so that's good. That's a good design choice. They probably put that where it is because they don't want you to inadvertently touch it. This, you do not have to roll your finger over it. This is very similar to like an iPhone home button or some of the new Galaxies and stuff, where you just push your finger down like that, and that's enough. And we'll do a video where I set it up with my Surface Pro 3, and we can go through that setup and training process and see how well it works. And then we'll see how well it actually works in practice to unlock the device when my fingers might be a little greasy or wet or something like that, something that could throw it off. So here is your magnetic connector. It's the same connector they've been using since the original Surface Pro, which is nice because it means that this is backward compatible with at least the Surface Pro 3, 4, and 2017 versions. So this guy came out after the Surface Pro 4 was released, but I'll be using it with the Surface Pro 3, which I'd argue is one of the better use cases for this keyboard with Fingerprint ID. You have a bar here that's magnetic that lets the keyboard sit up like this for an easier typing experience as opposed to typing flat on it. This is a island or chiclet style keyboard, which I really like because it's a lot harder to inadvertently hit the wrong letter. So with the Surface Pro 3 keyboards and earlier, you would type, say, type H, and then if you misclick it a little bit, you're going to get a J or a U or a Y or something else, because you can see they all kind of run together, the letters. And I did not like that, so I'm really glad that Microsoft did this. They also have a function lock key now, so that's pretty cool. And the keyboard, let's go to the back real quick. Nothing too special to see here, just Microsoft. It is quite stiff though. And that is definitely something they improved on, because the older keyboards are, it's not a huge difference, but they are pretty wobbly. When you're typing on them, they bounce. And that's something that a lot of people just, it just doesn't really suit their typing style, and doesn't suit mine either. So I like a more rigid keyboard with a firmer back, because it feels a lot more like a traditional laptop or desktop keyboard. So those are my initial impressions on the type cover with Fingerprint ID. Like I said, subscribe to this channel if you like this sort of content, because I will be setting it up with my Surface Pro 3. We'll see how that goes. And I'll definitely keep you updated if my initial impressions change, but for now, they're quite positive. And a big part of that too is that I got this online new for around $105, which is quite a bit less than they originally retailed for. And it's good to see that price come down in line with what the other type covers are going for right now. Because that fingerprint reader, sure, it adds a little bit of cost, but it's not a huge deal, and I'm glad to see they aren't charging a huge premium for it. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here. This is my initial impression and unboxing of the Microsoft Surface Pro type cover with Fingerprint ID. And like I said before, if you enjoy this sort of content, feel free to subscribe, and I hope to see you in a future video soon. See ya.